to today's video. Yes, my name is Frank and I'm a professional vocal coach. All right, this is the Vocal Lexicon, a place where music is simplified, made simple, and if you can talk, always remember you can sing. So what do we have today? We're going to talk about something that sounds familiar to you, but today you're going to understand it probably to the full. All right, it's called scales. So we're going to be talking about scales. You need to know your scales in music. The more you know your scales, the better singer you become, the better musician you become, and the better you are with your ears. All right, so what are scales? Today we're going to talk about 3 specific scales. Okay, we're going to talk about the major scale, we're going to talk about the minor scale, and the chromatic scale. Okay, so let's begin with the major scale. The major scale is the one you hear this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So that is major scale. What does this mean? What on earth does this mean? Okay, it means that the do becomes the most important note in the major scale. I have several names for the do. The do is what some people call the final resolution notes, where you know we have arrived, and yeah, it sounds like it's ended, right? Yeah, you'd find several do's in the song, but when you hear it, it's hard to miss it. Yeah, if you've trained your ears to some certain degrees, it's really hard to miss it. It stands out more than the other ones, the re, the mi, the fas, and so on and so forth. So another name for it is home, and I like that one because it's simplified. All right. When you get to the do, it sounds like you've arrived to your house. Yeah, practically it's just like you in your house, and wherever you go, whether to the bookshop or to school, to work, you know you're coming back home where you relax, right? Yeah, it's a relaxing place. All right, so when you get to the do, the whole thing relax. All right, so listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna show you an example and prove it to you that the do is like home. All right, so I'm gonna start from the do at the top. All right, and I'm just gonna stop before the do, just before the do at the bottom. Listen, feel it. All right, just feel it. So do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re. Did you hear that? It sounds like it's hanging and it needs to get to somewhere, which is do. Brilliant. Brilliant. So everything is pulled towards it like the force of gravity. So another name for it, which is a phrase, is called the center of gravity. So in a major scale, the do is the center of gravity. And I have an example of a song in the major scale for you. A popular one, you know. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. You see that? So that last note there is a you do. Very simple. Everything is pulled towards it. So in this next song, we're gonna sing Great King of All, a lovely song by the Love World Singers. If you haven't heard it, you need to listen to it. It's awesome. But if you don't know it, don't worry. Music is a universal language, and all you have to do is feel it. Do you know you can actually feel music? You can feel the chord progression. You can feel the movement of the music. And to help you even more, you can even close your eyes and you will be able to literally hear all the do's. But the most conspicuous one would be the one at the very end. Usually songs based on a major scale end with the do. Yeah. So just listen and observe, okay? From the depth of my heart, Lord, I sing of your awesomeness. You are more than words can say. Heaven and earth you call to be. Power and might belong to you. Glory and strength are in your dwelling place. Splendor and grace are before you, Lord. Honor and wealth great King of all, God of all flesh, Creator of all, we glorify you, Lord God of hosts, the great I am, Father of love, we glorify you. Well, I pointed out everywhere you hear the do. Now at the very end, you'd hear it end with the do, but because of time, we're not going to go through to the end of the song. So that's another example of a song based on a major scale. Now let's go to the minor. Now for the minor scale, it's kind of very similar to the major, but it has a different feel to it. Some people say it has this kind of sad feeling to it. I know they're trying to describe the feeling. Yeah. If you want to know your minor scale, all you need to do, like I said, is know your major scale, because the relative minor of every major scale share the same note. Don't think too much about this. I'll probably make another lesson to show you what I mean by relative majors and relative minors. Okay, so let's go back to the major scale. In the major scale, you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. In the relative minor scale, or in a minor scale, okay, you'd have the same notes, but you begin from somewhere this time. All right. So now you begin from a la and end on a la. So that means with this do here, we take the la at the bottom, okay? Do, ti, la, la. That's where we're gonna start. So you go la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. You see, we start from a la and end on a la at the top, and you can come back down to the la. So if you take the definition I gave to you on the major scale, apply to the minor scale, only this time, anytime I said do, you say a la instead, okay? You replace it with a la. So la becomes the final resolution note in the a song based on a minor scale, or becomes a home, or becomes the center of gravity. Everything is now pulled to the la. That's the difference. Otherwise, they share the same notes with the major scale. So let's make up something, okay? So again, I'm gonna point out anytime I get to the la, I'm gonna point it out, okay? But also listen, you'd feel it, okay? So what do we make up? Okay, let's see. Now this song is a minor song. It begins from a la and ends on a la. Now this song is a minor song. It begins from a la and ends on a la. Let's sing along. Now this song is easy to sing. It's easy to sing. It begins from a la and ends on a la. Now this song is a minor song. It begins on a la and ends on a la. That's it. La, ti, do. So it starts from a la and ends on a la. The only thing is that I ended on a la in the upper octave. So did you feel it? Yeah. So the final one is the chromatic scale. All right. Chromatic scale contains all the musical notes, all of them. All right. Chromatic scale includes the major scale, the minor scale, the blues scale, all of them. Okay, so what we're talking about, so in chromatic scale, we're moving half step all the time. So if you have a do like this, instead of going to the re, there's something between the do, you go to the next one, which is this. So you're considering every note, and every movement is a half step movement. From a do to the re is a whole step movement. From the re to the mi is a whole step movement. The only one that's a half step movement is from the mi to the fa. All right, there's nothing between them, and another one is from the ti to the do. All right, but the chromatic scale, you find some notes brought into the chromatic scale, and together we have 12 of them. Okay, so now listen to the chromatic scale. It's gonna sound like this. If you bring in the other notes into the do re mi, you already know. Okay, so it's gonna sound like this: do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do. Woo! That's it. Do, ti, te, la, le, sol, si, fa, mi, me, re, ra, do. That's going down. All right. So that's the chromatic scale. Are there any songs based on a chromatic scale? Not entirely, not from the beginning to the end, but you would find songs that have some of these chromatic scales in it. Okay, in a major song you can have that. You can find it sometimes in the melody, just dropped in once in a while in a certain place in the song. And that's why you need to know your chromatic scale. Very important, because sometimes when these notes appear, if you're not good with the chromatic scale or with your ears, you may go off key or look for the notes forever. I've been there before, trust me. Okay, so it's good to learn your chromatic scale. Sometimes it could appear in the melody of a song, sometimes it could appear in the harmony line of a song. So for an example, I'm going to use a song called There Is No Name. Again, another beautiful song from the Lover Singers, so you better check it out. So this song, it goes Di, re, mi, fa, there is no name. Did you see that? I didn't go do, re, mi, fa, there is no name. That's the one you could have the tendency to sing if you are not trained with your scale. You see why it's important to know your chromatic scale. Know your scales. So this song, to start with, the first line already introduces an accidental, which means a note from the chromatic scale. So it sounds like this. There is no name. All right. So notice I went there is no name in the heavens. Not there is no name. All right. That would be do, re, mi, fa. But I went di, re, mi, fa. Not do, re, mi, fa. Can you hear the difference? So listen while I sing a few lines of the song, and if you listen closely, you'd be able to feel it. Anytime a chromatic scale or a chromatic note is introduced to maybe a major scale or a minor scale, you would feel it. It feels weird. It feels strange. It feels unusual. Yeah? And not like the ones you're used to. Not like the notes in the major scale or in a minor scale. It feels different. And it happens once in a while. So listen while I sing a few lines. There is no name in the heavens. There is no name in the earth. There is no name in the universe. Did you hear that? So I started with there is no name in the heavens. There is no name. Listen again. In the earth. So we have one there. In the earth. That's it. In the earth. The word earth. That's where the note comes in. And the first note, there is no name. All right. And now for our final example of a song. This is a major song again, which has some notes from the chromatic scale. And again, this is a song from the Lover Singers called Governments and Galaxies. Like I said, sometimes it appears in the melody and sometimes you could find it in a harmony line. And in this case, I'll show you where it appears in the harmony line. Okay, so I'm gonna sing this song and skip some portion of the song so we can get to the area where we have the chromatic notes. So listen. The whole world belongs to you, governments and galaxies. You are holy, holy God. You're the God of miracles, who was and is to come. All power belongs to you, Almighty God. You're the one who says of it, it surely it comes to pass. We bow before your throne, Almighty God. Now listen. You are holy, righteous, and worthy. You are worthy to be praised. Okay, so that's where we have it. You are worthy to be praised. Okay, so that's for the melody line. That's where it appears. Then we have the harmony line, the part above it, which is the tenor. You hear it a little more. So it goes, you are holy, you are holy, you are holy, righteous and worthy. You are worthy to be praised. Okay, so that's another one. You are worthy to be praised, praised. Wow. So that's where you have it again. Praised. The second syllable of that praise. Praise. So it went praised. So that's just another example of a song. You have some of these notes where they occur. So the more you know your chromatic notes or your chromatic scale, the more stable you'll become in terms of control, in terms of hitting the notes better, and so on and so forth. Okay, and it comes with practice. There's no point knowing all this thing, and if you don't practice, it's just gonna be in your head. You can know how to explain it and all that, but it won't really settle in your mouth when you want to sing it. You'll still be looking for it, okay? So I hope you learned a lot in today's lesson. Make sure you join me again in the next lesson. See you next time. Bye-bye.
You can now extend your voice to reach really high notes. Eliminate voice breakage, become a more confident singer.
With you, I think I'm possible. With you, I think I'm possible.
Develop a rich tone quality, have more control when you sing, and so much more by purchasing a copy of the best and most affordable voice training lesson from our website called Singing with Freedom. Go to www.thevocallexicon.co.uk and click the shop page and select the singing lesson called Singing with Freedom. Congratulations!
Spirit of multiplication is at work in us, so we move.